This needs a mod. Givi PL9050. It's a pannier frame for the Royal Enfield Himalayan. Slightly different from the stock ones, and it's installed slightly differently. So we'll go ahead and we'll show you that now. Okay, tools today I'm going to be using sockets or spanners, Allen keys, Loctite, and a little pair of pliers. First job I'm going to do is take this top plate off, and I'm using a 5mm Allen key. If you're interested in seeing the install of this Givi rear rack support, you can go ahead and watch that video after this one. This is just a little 4mm Allen key. I'm just removing the rear indicators because these need to be relocated. This part here also needs to be taken off because this goes on to the new frame that goes underneath once the pannier frames go on. Just going to leave that sitting there at the moment. The next thing we want to do is just remove this carrier from underneath. Now if we look up underneath here, we can see this. There's 3 bolts. There's one here and there's 2 further up that need to be removed. And there's also 2 Allen bolts there that need to be removed. Right folks, that's the rear number plate carrier removed. You see there, you get the bolt holes here, one here as well. The 2 Allen bolts are down near the bottom here. But I'm not going to hang around, I'm going to quite quickly put this back on. All I want to do really is take this off, move the wire in, and get this screwed back up in place. All of this is going to go back in again. Now it's important to remember these colours. Red is the left hand indicator, the green one is for the right hand indicator. So when you put it all back together, make sure you put them the right way around, otherwise you're going to be indicating in the wrong direction. This brings me to probably the first positive with the Givi pannier frames over the stock Enfield ones. With the stock ones you need an extension on these wires. You can buy separate extensions for it, you can extend them yourself. The Givi have designed their pannier frames in such a way that when you relocate this, you don't need an extension on the wire. So all I've done is I've just hooked these back up again, making sure this is to the right because it's, sorry, this is to the left because it's red, and this one, the green one, is to the right when I put this back in place. So I'm just going to bolt all this back up in here. I'm just putting this together sort of reverse of how I took it off again. These are now down here, and here comes the rain, so I might need to abandon the job, to be honest. I don't want to get these bolts and stuff all wet. I'm not really sure how I thought I might get away with this. That rain come on there. Only came on for about a minute and a half, so hopefully I might get away with it. I'm just going to crack on, try and get this done. Since I've started, I'm just going to keep everything dry as I go, just keep drying everything off. All the bolts and stuff are all way out the road. It's really important that they're dry. And I'm just double checking before I put it all together and I put the new pannier frames on and I bolt these on, just checking that I've got these the right way around. Yeah, so they're both working fine. I've checked the both of them. Here's where the Givi panniers sort of differ. They bolt on here up at the frame, so I need to take that little arm bolt out, and then up here underneath the carrier. So they actually help to support that carry frame. I suppose you could argue that they might add a bit of extra stress on there. I don't think so. This one's a 6mm Allen key, so these need to come out both sides. This one here. So you look at the frame here, you've got the lock for the seat. Where am I? I've got the lock for the seat here. It's the one directly above it. I've just discovered these are really tight. I will not be surprised when I take this off if it's got some red Loctite or something on there. It's really tight. And there you have it, red Loctite. It's not even in the right place. Oh Lord, you see how tight these are. Yeah, Royal Enfield don't want these to come off in a hurry. This one was even tighter, believe it or not. Red Loctite, unbelievable. This stuff's supposed to be permanent, so to get it off you need to apply some heat on it, or some serious sore hands working hard to keep this stuff dry. But there's a little spacer goes in here, little washer, and the frame goes on, and Givi supply these longer bolts that go in. I'm going to blue Loctite these, obviously, no red. Very, very, very loose. That'll do for now, actually. Yeah. Put the bottom one in now. Right, okay, so I've got this top one in, very, very loose. There's a spacer in there, then there's a little washer, then the bolt going through there, and on the bottom, these ones are shorter. You've got the washer in between the frame, and then the locking bolt at the back. Now I've put a bit of blue Loctite on these anyway, even though that's a locking bolt. Now if we follow this up to the frame, these actually bolt on up here. These actually bolt to the frame up in here. We've got to put these little brackets on as well, same as the carriers. Now you can see here, that's a major difference from the stock carrier on the Himalayan. It bolts across the back, whereas these ones bolt onto the top carrier. So it's got that sort of triangular support almost. Then I've also got this strengthening bracket on here, and then at the bottom this bolts through here. So I need to remove the bolt that holds the exhaust in place. Make sure we don't lose any of that, because I'm going to reuse that bolt. No Loctite on this one, thankfully. There we go. I'm just keeping it loose. Same up the top here. Very, very loose. Yeah, it's all starting to fit into place now. As predicted, I had to abandon ship because of the rain. So I just took everything inside, got everything dried off. It got caught out there. It's off again, but I'm kind of racing against time. So back out, I'm drying everything off. I've brought out the minimum number of tools that I'm going to need. Just put this cross member in here, and these little Allen bolts go in here. There's a little washer, a little bolt built into this. You see how that's really loose, and these parts are facing up. I didn't show you this earlier. These get bolted into here, and at the top here, once I dry all of this off, these get bolted in. Once I get everything in finger tight and nice and straight, I'm just going to tighten everything up. It's looking quite smart. I want that movement so that it's easy for me to tighten these up. A little bit of a jigsaw. You see you've got your bolt and your washer all the way through. And I've Loctited these 10mm spanner on this side, 10mm socket on this side. Just makes it easier just to tighten it up like that. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to slowly start to work my way around and just start to tighten up all of these bolts. Just to be sure, just making sure that everything's ramrod straight as I do it. I want this to be nice and even. So, not too tight yet. Just sort of working my way around the bike, evening it up as I go. A couple of little jobs I still need to do, and then I'll go back round and just double check all the bolts are nice and tight, everything's straight. Now what I'm going to do now, I've got a little blanking plate I got from Enfield Accessories. I'm just going to fit that on there. A 4mm Allen key. That's a 10mm bolt on the other side as well. Really simple. The idea of this little part is to deflect any hot exhaust gases away from your panniers. This isn't quite fitting properly for me. So what I'm going to do is, off camera, tomorrow when it's not raining hopefully, I'm going to just readjust all of this. Or perhaps I might just put a little spacer in. You see how there's a bit of a gap there, maybe a little bit of a spacer in there or something like that. This is one of the things I love about Givi. Look how much metal is now up inside this this rear rack. That's a prime example of over-engineering. Solid. Putting pannier frames on these bikes is usually one of the first things that people do. In fact, they usually get it done straight from the dealership. I wanted to fit these Givi ones rather than the stock ones. To be honest, I prefer the style of it. I prefer the fact that it's got these supporting members. I prefer the position of the lights and stuff here. But you know, there's absolutely nothing wrong with the stock Himalayan that you get from Enfield. Another reason I sort of hesitated, I suppose, I didn't know whether I was going to put hard bags or soft bags or anything on there. I finally decided after a bit of research that I was going to go for the Givi gravel tea bags. Now they come with this nylon plate. Again, you don't need the Givi Pannier frame for that. It's sort of universal and it'll fit to any pannier frame. You can see here though, you see these little bolts and stuff. Once I put the panniers on there, it's suited more to the frame. So basically what you end up with is a complete system from Givi. Well, that's the rain starting to come back, so that's me done for today. I'll work on that little back piece, the exhaust piece, tomorrow. Hopefully I'll get that fixed. Don't want to do any more in this sort of weather. Guys, I really hope you liked this. If you did, give me a thumbs up, subscribe down below. And if you want to see the next modification video in the Himalayan, watch this video here. I'll see you in the next one.